What if every struggle you've ever faced wasn't a roadblock, but a secret doorway to a stronger version of yourself? One you haven't met yet. I know it sounds like another motivational post you'd scroll past without a second thought. But this isn't about empty inspiration. This is a principle forged in the fires of an ancient philosophy that has guided emperors, slaves, and thinkers through the darkest of times. We're talking about Stoicism, not a philosophy of passive endurance, but an active blueprint for transforming obstacles into fuel. Today, we're excavating the timeless wisdom of the Stoics, not just as a lifeline for moments of crisis, but as a daily operating system for a life of purpose and unshakable resilience. Whether you're navigating personal loss, professional burnout, or just the daily grind, these teachings offer a path, not to a life without problems, but to a self that cannot be broken by them. They reveal that the ultimate power isn't in changing the world around you, but in mastering the world within you. So if you've ever felt like you're swimming against a current too strong, if you've searched for stillness in the middle of the storm, or if you're simply curious how wisdom from centuries ago can illuminate your path today, you've found your harbor. Join me as we decode how to harness these principles, turning our greatest trials into our most profound triumphs, and learning to live with intention, integrity, and an unbreakable spirit. And as we begin this journey together, I invite you to hit that subscribe button and stay with us for the entire video. Every moment is crafted to shift your perspective, and you won't want to miss a single insight on this transformative exploration. Have you ever looked at your life and realized you've been settling, coasting through days, weeks, maybe even years, without ever questioning the invisible fences you've built around your own potential? It's a silent agreement we make with mediocrity. But then there's a question, sharp and simple, that can cut through all that complacency. Why not? It's a tiny phrase with the seismic power to shatter the foundations of fear and self-doubt. Now, let's anchor this in Stoic thought. The Stoics were not spectators of their own lives. They were active participants, constantly auditing their actions, decisions, and character through the lens of virtue. When faced with a choice, a true Stoic wouldn't ask, "What's the easiest path?" They'd ask, "Why not take the path that leads to growth?" This isn't a call for reckless abandon. It's a summons to conscious, deliberate choices that honor your highest self. So, the next time you stand at a crossroads, frozen by the fear of the unknown or the effort required to level up, whisper those two words to yourself. Why not? Why not go for that promotion? Why not start that project? Why not take the leap? It is in these precise moments of decision that the architecture of your destiny is drawn. But here's the deeper layer. Asking, why not, isn't just for external challenges. It's the key to unlocking the prison of your own internal narratives. It's a direct challenge to the self-doubt, the fear of failure, and the seductive comfort of the status quo. It's an internal revolution, urging you to rise above the average and embrace the extraordinary potential that's been dormant within you. Remember, every Stoic icon you've ever studied, from the Emperor Marcus Aurelius to the statesman Seneca, didn't run from challenges, they ran toward them. They understood that a life of ease is a life of stagnation. They sought the path of resistance because that's where resilience is forged. That's exactly what you're doing when you ask, why not? You're stepping into the arena, ready to engage with life fully, to be shaped by its fires and emerge wiser and stronger. So the next time you hesitate, remember, you possess the pen to rewrite your story. You have the strength to push past your imagined limits. Embrace that Stoic mindset. Ask yourself, why not? And prepare to be amazed by where your courage can take you. This relentless pursuit of becoming better aligns perfectly with the Stoic concept of prokopton, the idea of being a work in progress, of making continuous incremental progress. The Stoics were obsessed with what they could control: their character, their actions, their responses. They weren't chasing perfection, they were chasing progress. And that's the mission I'm laying out for you today: to become pathologically committed to your own evolution. Think about it. Improvement is the heartbeat of everything meaningful. Whether you're sharpening a skill, deepening a relationship, or cultivating inner peace, the essence of a rich life is growth. When you become obsessed with improving, you automatically align with the Stoic virtue of self-mastery. You're not doing it for a trophy or a paycheck. You're doing it because it's the most authentic expression of living by your principles. But let's be clear, this obsession with improvement isn't about being your own harshest critic. It's about a compassionate, persistent dedication to your own becoming. It's about celebrating the small wins while keeping your eyes on the horizon of your next evolution. And yes, there will be stumbles, there will be failures, but in true Stoic fashion, you'll learn to see these not as defeats, but as invaluable data, stepping stones on your path. So how do you cultivate this? Start by setting clear, intentional goals that resonate with your core values. Reflect daily on your actions. Ask yourself how they align with your aspirations for growth. Welcome challenges as opportunities to stretch your limits. And above all, stay curious, adaptable, and open. The path of self-improvement is infinite. There is always another virtue to embody, another skill to master, and it is in this endless quest that we find our deepest joy. So let's embrace this obsession with improving, not as a means to an end, but as the way we live. Let's support each other in reaching new heights, in becoming the architects of our own fate, and in living each day with purpose and an unquenchable thirst for growth. The Stoics are renowned for their unyielding commitment. When they set their mind to something, they gave it their entire being, not for applause or recognition, but because they knew that total commitment is the very essence of a virtuous life. They didn't engage with their duties or passions half-heartedly. They poured their whole selves into their endeavors, living by the principle that the value of an action isn't in its outcome, but in the depth of intention behind it. Giving it your all means channeling your energy, focus, and effort into your pursuits. It means waking up and deciding you won't just coast through life on autopilot. It means actively shaping your reality with your thoughts, choices, and actions. It's about not just dreaming big, but acting big, taking those bold, decisive steps that move you forward, even when the path is dark and uncertain. But here's a crucial distinction. Giving it your all isn't just about what you do, it's about how you do it. It's about approaching your work, your relationships, and your self-cultivation with sincerity, passion, and integrity. It's about being fully present, whether you're in a meeting with your family or alone in reflection. And when obstacles arise, as they always will, it's about facing them with courage, drawing on that inner fortress of strength to push through adversity. So how can you start giving your all? Begin by identifying what truly matters to you, your core values, your deepest passions. Then commit to pursuing them with your whole heart. Set high standards, not out of obligation, but because you are driven by a genuine desire to live fully and authentically. Remember, this isn't a one-time act. It's a daily choice, a moment-by-moment decision. And as you embrace this philosophy, you'll discover it not only propels you toward your goals, but also fills the journey itself with profound meaning. So let's make that commitment together. Let's give our all, live with unwavering passion, and build a legacy not just of achievement, but of who we became in the process. We live in a world engineered to distract us. It's buzzing with notifications, temptations, and a million reasons to wander from our path. But here's where the magic happens. When you commit to your course despite the noise, you're making a stand for something sacred. You're honoring your journey, your values, and ultimately, yourself. The Stoics knew that life is littered with distractions designed to pull us from our purpose, but they also knew the power of steadfastness, of remaining anchored to their principles and goals. For them, staying on the path wasn't just about personal success, it was a matter of integrity. So what does it mean for you to stay on your path? It means being crystal clear about your direction, knowing what you stand for, what you're striving for, and the kind of person you intend to become. It means setting your internal compass and navigating by it, even when storms rage and the seas get rough. But here's the nuance. Staying on your path doesn't mean being rigid. Life is fluid. Part of staying true to your course is being adaptable, learning from your experiences and adjusting your sails when necessary. The key is that these adjustments must always align with your core values and ultimate vision. So, how do you ensure you're staying on track? It starts with self-awareness. Take time to reflect on your values, your goals, your vision. Write them down. Revisit them often. Let them be your compass. Cultivate the discipline to make choices that align with your path, even when they're hard. And remember, resilience is your anchor. When you hit obstacles, view them not as detours, but as opportunities to strengthen your resolve. Every challenge you overcome is proof you're still on the path. We're often taught to keep our eyes fixed on the prize, measuring success by the results we achieve. But what if I told you there's profound freedom in releasing your grip on the outcome? This is where Stoicism offers its most liberating perspective. The Stoics drew a sharp line between what is within our control and what is not. Our efforts, intentions, and character, those are ours. But the outcomes? They are subject to 1,000 factors we can't command. When we obsess over results, we set ourselves up for frustration and despair because we're clinging to something that was never truly in our hands. So what does it mean to shift your focus from outcomes to effort? It means pouring your heart into the task at hand, giving it your best, without being emotionally attached to the final result. Imagine the liberation of working with passion and diligence, not because of what it might bring you, but simply because you believe in the work itself. This is the heart of Stoic wisdom, finding fulfillment in the action, not just its fruits. The prize is not in the destination, but in the quality of the journey. But let's be clear, this doesn't mean being indifferent to success or abandoning goals. It means redefining success in terms of your own actions and character. Did you act with integrity? Did you give it your all? Did you grow? These are the true measures of victory. So, how do you practice this? Begin by reflecting on your values. Set your goals with these in mind, focusing more on the qualities you want to cultivate than the external rewards. When you feel anxiety about outcomes, gently remind yourself of what's truly in your control and redirect your energy back to your efforts. Imagine living your life as a mirror. If your inner world is filled with negativity, fear, or bitterness, that is exactly what will be reflected back to you in your experiences. Conversely, if you cultivate virtues like kindness, resilience, and integrity, those qualities will shine through, attracting positive experiences and relationships. The Stoics placed immense importance on developing a strong, virtuous character because they saw it as the foundation of a good life. They believed you cannot control the world, but you can control who you are within it. And by focusing on being the best version of yourself, you naturally create a life that reflects that inner state. But how do you live this principle daily? Start with regular self-reflection. Examine your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors with honesty but compassion. Identify areas for growth. Actively cultivate the virtues that resonate with you, courage in the face of fear, perseverance in the face of difficulty, compassion in the face of conflict. Remember, this isn't about perfection. It's about awareness. It's about striving to align your actions with your highest values, even when it's hard. And when you falter, as we all do, it's about having the humility to learn and continue your journey. By embracing this wisdom, you become the architect of your own reality. You recognize that while you can't control everything that happens, you have immense power over your response. And as you align your being with your highest ideals, you'll find the world around you begins to reflect that same depth and quality. Now think about the obstacles you've faced. We all have them. Our first instinct is often frustration, discouragement, even despair. But what if we chose to see these obstacles not as barriers, but as gifts, as catalysts for growth? This is the essence of a core Stoic principle. The Stoics weren't dismissive of hardship. They fully acknowledged the pain it brings. However, they also believed that within every obstacle lies the seed of an equal or greater benefit. It's not the obstacle itself that defines us, but our reaction to it. By choosing to see the obstacle as a pathway, we shift from being victims to being empowered agents of change. So, how do you apply this? Start by reframing your perspective. When you encounter a challenge, pause and ask, what can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? Instead of letting obstacles drain you, use them as fuel to build resilience, creativity, and perseverance. Embrace the understanding that the most rewarding paths often include the steepest climbs. The struggles you endure, the barriers you overcome, they all contribute to your character. Each obstacle is a chance to practice patience, courage, and adaptability, shaping you into a wiser, more capable human being. The obstacle on the path becomes the path itself. Moreover, overcoming obstacles forces you to think differently, to expand your horizons, and to discover strengths you didn't know you had. In embracing this Stoic approach, you cultivate gratitude for the growth they enable. You learn to appreciate the entire journey, recognizing that the most profound lessons are often learned in the face of adversity. In the grand scheme of things, it's easy to feel insignificant. We look at our ambitions or the world's problems and think, what difference can my small contribution possibly make? But here's the truth. Every grand achievement is the sum of its parts, each one crafted by individual, seemingly insignificant actions. The Stoics understood that we don't control the grand outcome. We control our choice in this moment. They teach us to focus on the present, to do what is right and necessary now without being paralyzed by the size of the task or fixated on a distant goal. Do what is in front of you is a call to action. It urges us to engage with life purposefully, no matter how small our contribution may seem. So, how do we live this? Break down your larger goals into smaller, actionable steps. Focus on what you can achieve today, even if it's just one tiny step forward. Remember, it's about consistency, not the size of the action. Each small step is a building block. Moreover, this mindset encourages us to find value in the process itself, not just the end result. When we focus on doing what we can, we become more present, more engaged, and often more effective. We learn to appreciate the journey, recognizing that growth and fulfillment come from our daily efforts. In embracing this, we also cultivate humility and resilience. We acknowledge we are not all-powerful, but we affirm our agency. We learn to be resourceful, to adapt, and to persevere even when progress seems invisible. In a world that measures success by wealth, titles, and followers, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. But what if we stepped back and rewrote the definition? The Stoics offer a radical alternative. True success isn't about acquiring things or impressing others. It's about developing a strong character, living in accordance with nature, and fulfilling our roles as human beings. It's about being honest, just courageous and wise, regardless of our circumstances. This definition is incredibly empowering because it places success firmly in our own hands. We may not control the economy, the job market, or others' opinions, but we can always control our own virtues and actions. So how do we change our definition of success? It begins with introspection. Reflect on what you truly value and the kind of person you want to be. Consider the qualities you admire and aspire to develop. Then set goals that align with these values, focusing on personal growth and positive contribution. Redefining success also means appreciating the process, not just the outcome. Celebrate your efforts, resilience, and progress, even without immediate rewards. Remember, in Stoicism, success is as much about how you face challenges as it is about achieving goals. It's about maintaining your integrity and equanimity no matter what. And this new definition leads to greater fulfillment. When you're not chasing external validation, you're free to focus on what truly brings you joy. You'll find that pursuing virtue and meaningful engagement is far more rewarding than any external achievement. In a society obsessed with likes and approval, it's easy to lose ourselves, to forget our own motivations in the pursuit of being liked. But Stoicism offers a powerful antidote, reminding us that our worth and choices should be grounded in our own principles, not the fleeting opinions of others. The Stoics taught that seeking approval is a form of enslavement. We become hostages to others' whims, allowing their perceptions to dictate our actions and self-esteem. But when we break free from this need for external validation, we gain profound freedom and authenticity. We can act according to our own values, pursuing what we genuinely believe is right, regardless of popularity. So how do we detach from the desire to be liked? First, it requires deep self-awareness. We need to understand our motivations, to distinguish between actions driven by a need for validation and those rooted in our true selves. Next, we must cultivate confidence in our own judgment. When we trust our reasoning and align our actions with our convictions, we become less dependent on approval. We can stand firm in our choices, even when they're unpopular, because we know they're grounded in our deepest principles. It's also vital to accept that not being liked by everyone is not only okay, it's inevitable. We are all unique. Trying to please everyone would mean constantly shape-shifting, losing our sense of self. By focusing on being authentic, we attract the right kind of relationships, those based on genuine respect. And even when we face criticism, we can take solace in knowing we're living with integrity, true to our Stoic principles. In a world that constantly demands our time and energy, learning to say no is an invaluable skill. It's not just about rejection, it's about affirming your priorities, your values, and your autonomy. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what's truly important and within our control. Sometimes that means declining requests, opportunities, or demands that don't align with your core values. The Stoics advocated for living in accordance with nature, which includes honoring your own limits. They understood our time and energy are finite. Saying no becomes a crucial exercise in discernment, a way of ensuring we dedicate ourselves to what's genuinely meaningful, not just what's urgent or requested. But let's be honest, saying no is hard. It takes courage, especially when we're conditioned to please or fear missing out. However, the Stoic approach teaches us to value our own judgment and make decisions based on reason and virtue, not fear. When you say no from a place of calm conviction, you're making a powerful statement about your priorities. So, how do we get better at it? It starts with clarity. Know what you stand for, what you value, what your goals are. With a clear sense of direction, it becomes easier to identify which requests align with your path and which don't. And remember, saying no doesn't have to be harsh. It can be done with kindness and respect. Practicing this is liberating. It frees you from unnecessary burdens, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. It builds self-respect and, surprisingly, can lead to greater respect from others, who will recognize your clarity and integrity. How can one truly let go, but with discernment? It's about deeply understanding the distinction between what we can control and what we can't. We control our efforts, our attitudes, our virtues. We do not control outcomes, the actions of others, or the whims of fate. When we truly grasp this, we begin to free ourselves from the frustration and anxiety that come from clinging to the uncontrollable. But let's be clear, letting go with discernment doesn't mean not caring. It means caring deeply about the right things, the things that are truly up to us, and accepting the rest with equanimity. It's about investing our energy wisely, pouring our passion into our actions, and releasing our attachment to results. Imagine how much lighter you would feel if you stopped agonizing over every little thing that didn't go your way. This is the liberation of Stoicism, a path to inner peace and resilience, no matter what life throws at you. So how do we cultivate this? It starts with mindfulness, with paying attention to our reactions and gently reminding ourselves to distinguish between what's in our power and what's not. It takes practice. We start small with daily annoyances and work our way up. And as we practice, we discover something remarkable. The less we try to control the uncontrollable, the more control we actually have over ourselves and our responses. We find a new sense of calm and clarity, even in chaos. As we journey through life embracing Stoic wisdom, we learn that our greatest strength lies within, in our ability to choose our response, to focus on what truly matters, and to let go with grace. Remember, the path to tranquility and fulfillment is not found in external accolades, but in the cultivation of virtue, resilience, and inner peace. Thank you for joining me on this journey today, for being an integral part of Stoic mindset mastery. If this video resonated with you, please hit that like button. It helps more people find this wisdom. And please continue to explore and deepen your understanding by watching one of the suggested videos on the screen. Together we grow stronger, wiser, and more grounded in the principles that guide us toward a life of purpose and meaning.